Hai. Wait ya. Udah cabut. Udah. Nonton PEPEREKSSS. Astaga, mau ganti lagi. Ini aku bentar dulu. Semangat ganteng. Stream di YouTube. Kenapa? Aman. Guys, bentar ya ganteng. Aduh, bingung lagi aku. Ya, aku gede banget sih. Ini aku bingung. Bentar. Mana ini aku? Oh iya, aku nontonnya lewat sini ya. Ini move to new window. Ini tarik ke sini. Maaf ya guys kalau pusing ngeliat live-nya masih berantakan. Hihi. PEPEREKSSS.
Aku pengen tinggi, tapi masih gagal. Sampai akhirnya aku rajin minum.
Aduh, PEPEREKSSS-nya udah mulai.
Nextnya, biar maksimal, kamu juga harus main keluar.
Astaga, lama banget.
Bonito, tumbuh tinggi, tambah keren.
Pelakuan warga.
Bentar.
Aplikasi GoPay. Selalu ada harga murah.
You're lucky boy there.
Okay.
Very lucky. Come back into this now with a broken purchase. See what? Opportunity here for Spring to do some work with a scope. Outside of that, YU and Lysol just down on pistols. And expect Wolves to maybe try and pick up a kill here on the back of some PEPEREKSSS aggression.
And I quite like the conditioning early on as well, Mike. It's been this kind of constant lead through.
Let's
to
go.
see a little bit of a default straight through middle, but they haven't really tested this A side. So again, if you're
PEPEREKSSS,
PEPEREKSSS, you're maybe starting to get a bit of a read into that as well, something you're going to start reacting to. Again, you look at the spread here so far, depending on just that Omen cycling those smokes. So a lot of pressure, but already re-clear comes in, doesn't quite catch YU towards middle, and Patman wants that information.
Lambot though from YU posted up pretty deep. I think on the back of dealing with that, they're reading PEPEREKSSS rotating away, so it might just be a committed B hit here. So Patman will be called upon. Forced away by the utility, actually using up close and personal. He's looking, he found a tag through the smoke there.
All but Forsaken gets involved. Nice damage on the first, but a quick trade. The pressure now starting him out. The spike left loose. The PEPEREKSSS clearing out the B side.
2-0, 3-2-1 nggak sih sekarang?
25 seconds. There's a firing squad around that corner.
Absen dulu
This is Haunt in 10, but look at the timer. Very difficult situation. And there it is, comfortable in the end, but PEPEREKSSS handled that well.
See if Fat BB positioned as the late round piece here. Was played out of this because I'm sure it was Juicy, it was caught on the reload here.
Down B.
Really rough timing for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just nobody to, well, comfortably that can swing onto that angle to bail him out. Even there, I mean, see Fat BB, another consolation potentially to find.
Apa tuh? Cibai,
Just
buset.
didn't find it. Juicy already on the showstopper here, so going to see him fire their stinger into round 4.
I'll find you.
Expect too much of a pace shift here, but I mean, on the talking about early round protocols here, PEPEREKSSS dealing with the turret nice and early here. That's it, set piece out. Juicy's been shut down.
Oh, what a lovely little play to
Gila,
bring out the
anjing,
back of
terbang.
contact. It's stunning, and it's rewarded them 2 kills. This is that evolution to PEPEREKSSS we love now getting to watch, right? It's not just that mechanical talent, that aggression. They have these little set pieces they like to run every now and then, and it wasn't overly complex. And that was a mistake. What's that? Catching them asleep at the wheel there, Mike. That's going to haunt them. And an overstep, unnecessary. This feels like like a fumble, Mike. Now it looks like Pac-Man might be the saving grace to this, though.
Lysol's read it.
Menang gak sih nih,
Oh,
Mas?
and he's down with him.
Ya
This is a
elah,
fumble for PaperX, and a gutting
mati.
one because it was a brilliant start.
2 players caught sleeping, and the spike is there as well. All they needed to do was reinforce that hold. But Wolves able to dissect that setup just outside C.
30 seconds left.
Actually find themselves a plant here. Why are you down 15 HP? Get the lockdown off this as well, you're right.
Okay, a little bit of util as well for YU, but it's Devi
Hai.
wading back through towards the site. Problem is there's
Hello?
utility in the way. I find
Hello.
it tricky. Position now given away, and you can see Lysol should be the checkmate. There's that layer of util from YU. Isolated and alone. And a
3-1
devastating mistake
gini,
there from
PaperX.
PaperX. Credit to Wolves for re-engaging, but they cannot be dropping the ball like that.
Was it the time
Nah,
on the smoke?
sini aja kita nobar
this is
sama yang
exactly
lain
the
kalau
sort of
ada
thing
yang
I
jadi.
talked about before this map started. PaperX being aggressive, picking apart this slow default and the control. But here, I mean, both players, smoke
smoke in
drops.
hand?
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
But both, yeah.
Aduh, Alex sudah
that is
gebrak-gebrak
outrageous to see
meja.
somebody caught off guard like that. On top of the box.
And
Buset,
John, insult
gitu
to
ya.
injury as well. They're up out their seats.
Yeah.
They're giving it. 'Cause you know that's the ones that are going to tilt you. But back in, PaperX have a very strong mental. They're not going to break off that. Alex might, but they won't. So PaperX needs to kind of reignite a little bit of that focus here. You can't get lazy in this. You've got to stay lethal. Something. Tries to do a little bit of early work, but can be warded away. And we've seen these slower defaults coming out from Wolves. Doing the diligent work, right? They've been doing what is necessary.
I mean, even here, damage trade-off have come out on top.
That's true.
Weakens something. See, the purchase is not there for PaperX. And Prowler will force something even deeper here. Oh, how do I send through? Juice is potentially going to be... Oh, actually, the TP comes across from Lysol, so I'll still have somebody to back him up initially. And actually, Lockdown invested here, fully respecting this anti-eco once again. They're aware of the threat of that previous
Halo Kak,
wave,
masih di
yeah.
Bali, Be.
I
Iya,
mean,
masih
PaperX,
di
you said
Bali.
it right. Those
Udah di
sorts of
Bali
rounds,
sekarang.
Sometimes they look the scariest in almost.
Belum selesai,
now
baru
Wolves
3-1.
finding
Kata orang-orang tuh ya
stability in
biasakan
the
nonton
so gotta keep it
PaperX sampai akhir.
In mind that there is danger. Plenty
Gitu.
through Wolves.
Iya, kata orang-orang tuh
Now
gitu.
Juicy turns attention. Smokes great.
Aduh, abis nih kayaknya.
Blame it on the spray.
Pac-Man's got two.
Pac-Man has got two.
Mereka lagi
Any chance?
saving loh.
It feels like it's dwindling. These opportunities passing by for
Mati
them.
sini
As it
something.
looks like 4-1 will be on the board. Not wait to see a timeout soon enough here. As something's
Anjir,
on one.
literally 1 HP anjir.
Gotta get locked in. As this has passed them by here.
Saving deh, saving.
Silver lining, the best they can hope for as Wolves off to the ideal start. Mike, look, I know all of us have been enjoying this Wolves run. I think most of us thought this is where it probably ends. But you could argue someone said that about Gen G too. But
Yeah.
at 4-1, I'm paying attention.
I mean, I remember coming into that Gen G series thinking, if they can pull this off,
That's the one.
because they still
Dapat
effectively
dua dia
have
pakai
pipeline
seri.
in terms of dropping.
Yes.
There's no elimination on the line. And even here now, it would be such a big sigh of relief to escape that once more.
Now use them.
4-1 to kick off Lotus here. PaperX, I mean, you don't ever really humble PaperX. They will continue pressuring like this.
Iya, ada
Investment here
Tokyo.
from
Halo
Forsaken
Tokyo.
may
Kamu nge-mute.
lead you to believe it's a slower round. TP's
Apa
actually stuck
kabar?
here, bold in approach.
And that was pinged so quick
Yeah.
as well. It looked like so aware of this. And whatever the set plan was,
Kenapa tuh?
feels like PaperX read that.
Well, I think it's on the
perfectly.
back of seeing 2 or 3 bodies swing out.
Oh,
from the
iya.
air, that maybe they feel like the extremity is going to be the weaker side of the
Taga.
hold, but Forsaken shuts that down.
Lu temennya ini kan, temennya Gary gak sih?
Discipline
Oh.
from PaperX here. I don't want to see
Lu nanti kerja sama Gary atau
Great
gimana?
isolation.
It certainly was. Now Forsaken is
Oh.
going to do some good chip damage as well. Look at CUFAT Baby down on only 26. Spring's position given away. Look where the spot. Oh! What is that? Ridiculous. And a 2v3 is not impossible. So they are just
Hah?
gunning it, right? They are running their little legs off straight to
Lah
the
di
sea.
TikTok
They're
juga,
gonna
Be.
leave one
Enggak,
behind.
cuma di YouTube
Why you?
doang.
I Actually, the tap of the spikes. Drawn out the ultimate from Divide.
I mean,
Nightfall here from the plant as well.
oh, the pathing. This is now getting really dangerous. But why you set up the motion? No. Divide, very diligent and nice from PaperX. They pulled it together there. You're starting to see a little bit of that synergy shining.
And the composure as well. Don't overinvest in this early round aggression. Able to peel away really quickly, and credit to Forsaken. I think potentially something up towards Evan. There was a couple of people charging out, like you said, instantly pinged.
Iya, sambil
You
Discord
can't really
ini.
fault the approach here,
Sini aja
but
kalau mau join Discord di server gue,
just
Bang.
stick a TP into the back lines.
And it got close, but I like seeing those
Party
fundamentals
sambil
come together for
nonton,
PaperX though, right?
sambil nonton
Doubling
Mas
up,
Party
even
sambil
that chaos of
ngobrol-ngobrol.
potential plant on towards that B side. No, they on the ult, they still stay very close. And
makanya.
credit to Divide. I know it's only one kill, but him catching YU basically keeps them safe. Otherwise, this kill right here from Divide, I find that to be the most imperative of them all. Very heads up work. Maybe feeling they'd have tried to have left a player behind, inserted a player. Still not fussed though, apparently. Still chilling.
You've got to be happy leading 4-2 here.
Yeah.
The attacking side as well.
Anak taktik juga ini, Bang.
Drawing board though here. Well, that's close to a full purchase here. It's Lysol down on the Guardian. Wolves Forsaken. He's tagged up there. I'm not sure if he's actually confirmed any damage on the side of Wolves. Activity once more as well, and active clearance out past Mound.
This could be nasty. Actually sees, and the pain
Wah,
shows.
nice banget,
How
Jing.
the hell did they get two back?
Combo.
Could say almost favouring PaperX in that regard, but something going to be played in here.
Angles like that, this man hits those shots.
Lo di Bali udah dapat kerjaan atau baru mau nyari kerja juga di sini? Oh, udah dapat.
Similar scenes to before though. See if at BB and YU trying to work the map here. 2v3.
Ngajakin gua, udah sini aja, gini. Gua bilang gajinya berapa? Segini. Enggak ah, ya kalau segitu skip dulu gua bilang. Tiba-tiba kemarin udah segini. Ya udah.
Oke. Berapa tuh? Ada dua digit.
Risk, Mike. It scares the life out of me sometimes. 20 seconds and a 1v2 Divide and Forsaken.
Udah dapat kosan belum lu?
Where are we off to now?
Oh gitu. Soalnya di sini nyari kosan susah banget anjir. Di sini tuh ya apa? Duluan.
Surely not. Yeah, he's got to go for it. No chance. Well handled by PaperX, closing in on the scoreline.
So you've got to look for that composure again, building up a little bit of a cushion in terms of the finances. That's where you look towards some of these more sloppy kills towards the end of the round. Again, Jing finding two here to open. Beautiful little trap piece outside B. Wolves actually going to be the
Emang
ones
barang lu nggak banyak?
pump the brakes a little bit. Round 8 again, decent sample size, I guess, already in the first half here. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment towards the latter rounds.
Bi, motoran kamu bikin sini, Bi.
So ideally towards round 9 here in terms of any game plan adjustment. I guess actually in that regard, the first time PaperX have really been able to catch their breath.
It has been kind of in their face. Credit to PaperX for being able to learn on the fly. Again, this kind of like 6th and 7th round, obviously, have been the ones to give them the stability here. But I do want to see what the reaction is from Wolves. Again, it does feel like that.
Bener sih, di sini juga butuh kendaraan gak sih?
It's not as lethal as it could be. I mean, if you throw in a Viper with it, right? We've seen what that can do. But still, as it stands, it's kind of cut off those options towards A, it feels like, and pressuring back towards B, those C hits. But it's the re-aggresses from PaperX. Very little fear, even in those high-risk scenarios. We're a bit more used to it, I guess, at this point, and so will they be now. At 3-4, just Sheriffs. A couple of classics.
I mean, bigger picture-wise, both these teams have so many reps this year on Lotus. I think it's
Bener
14
sih,
for
itu
PaperX
sih.
and 11 or 12 Wolves.
Yeah.
Even here on the attacking half, I mean, if you come out with A lead, doesn't matter what it is, you've got to feel really good about yourself. So we'll have to ride this out on a handful of Sheriffs. Something going to tuck himself in between these smokes.
Oh, it's nasty. And Divide drawing all eyes on him. It is only pistols, but it's Divide's like that. something. You don't even get to play. Easily done.
Apaan anjing? Gue
Happy
belum.
with that.
Gue masih bengong tiba-tiba flawless. Ih,
A little bit of a reset here in between ahead of this buy round, and actually,
mana replaynya? Gue masih bengong tiba-tiba flawless anjir. What the heck?
just one away as well. Didn't even need the second piece of this setup.
Tuh,
Ayo.
Building some confidence here
kamu kapan kembali?
for the Cobra round 4 divide, who's actually leading the
Yeah.
border 10 and 4 and early 3K, I
Kamu
believe.
kapan jadi kembali
Round
besok?
Look at this
Lusa.
stack. They're in the right place here, Mike. How far do PaperX go in this? Deep flash at it. Look at this outrageous approach. Oh, it's been
Wait, what?
absolutely red.
Anjingnya
Jin
mati.
gets backhanded there, and they couldn't close down on any of the kills.
I mean, 2 pings on the reveal. Not sure how much that box just sponged, but no damage.
Face your fear.
Coming through, it's only really Fat BB who's taking a hit here down to 35 HP. Nightfall might actually be a bit of a red herring.
How much can Patman be expected to do here? That's a huge ult as well, right?
Has to basically hit the
And
panic
Forsaken,
button.
wait, Forsaken! Oh, they read it so smart. As soon as that Nightfall caught how many?
Buset,
4
kena
players?
4 tuh.
Instantly went for it. Now, not to beat, Wolves 2 heads up for that. And the dust hasn't even settled really, but the rotations are here. Devi's back over. He was solid before this nice high-low setup. Be very difficult to break. Or not there, Paranoia ready, there it is, forces them off. Spring, they seem so prepared for these holds. They've seen Batman as well. Position now given, and look at
Why he's
YU.
got so much space to play
God,
into.
his lurk is so nasty. And at this point, they want to pivot, they want to go back towards B. It does put in towards something's hand. Spring. Oh! It's gorgeous from Spring. Lurks on lurks, but something still stands. Caught in between a rock and a hard place. Where do they go? Back towards C. Safety on that C site. You don't fancy walking into something like this. So the plant's in, and he's left in a 1v4.
Make an honest go of this here. You can see on the X-ray YU already wrapping him. He's got a turret here to play contact off as well. Might even just be able to pop something in the back of the head. No. We'll get the sound cue regardless. I think now relaying that information. Yeah, that comes through.
God, his positioning.
Yeah, this is just, again, probably sitting back and watching this, Alex not going to be happy about this spray into the smoke with the audience. It's begging somebody to walk on it.
Yep.
And Spring just comes alive.
And it feels like this was a whole book in one round, right? Chapter by chapter, at this beginning, the box apparently being on Wolves' side, and then you had the TP coming in, you had the Nightfall coming out. This all happened. All of this was in the same round. And again, that Paranoia being just tilted up, it felt like they were so aware. There's the walk on the
Patman's on a
smoke.
reload. So Forsaken fully committed towards that. They're both spamming into the, I mean, there's an opportunity to potentially bait into that one person spray.
Malam keakhiran kali bagaimana Valorant?
Something
Ini lagi nonton Pepres nih, mana nonton Pepres.
Timeout seeming to work well, at least for these early couple of exchanges, right? Something's want of him wanting to play towards bound is fine, but you've started to see how Wolves are approaching this.
You never see PaperX really relent in that
Gasin aja
regard.
kalau mau mah.
It will continue. That's what it
Gasin,
catches
lusa
teams
tuh
off guard
gasin.
where it's like, yeah, your aggression
Surely
hasn't
now.
worked 4 rounds in a
Lusa,
row.
apa besok?
No, we're coming again, don't worry.
That 5th time, it'll work. And now we're seeing a bit of a tempo switch up from Wolves
Oh.
too. Very slow, holding him, waiting for that re-aggress, which is coming.
Ya udah kan dia udah masuk gak sih?
They've got the PRX
Lah
playbook
iya.
and they understand it
Suruh aja
well.
sini.
Still got
Nonton
a play
Pepperex.
on the other side. Great shot from Batman, but it's traded. And the numbers simply so advantageous. A quick rotate off the back of once again YU space.
It's always the one to backfill these sort of plays.
Ooh, tricky. Still not easy on this though, is it?
No.
It's. Whoa! A shot! Oh,
What the fuck? Forsaken ya.
But look at once again, if you don't
Ya,
see him on the
belakangnya,
side,
weh,
you know where to
belakangnya.
be looking. Slow and steady, he herds them closer. They need a plant though, 17 seconds, and YU on his walkabout.
Kena
Divide
ini
dead.
mah.
And now the plant on the line though, Forsaken could speed up here. Punish the plant, but no, can't quite catch him!
Ya.
Spring again!
Ente.
Wolves! Beautiful mid-rounding here, Mike. This is stunning.
Blow for blow, this exchange is beautiful to just watch from the minimap. YU
Aku
spreading
pertama
the
main
needle
Valo
once
kirain
more.
itu cheat wallhack. Bukan, ini lagi turnamen gitu
That's how
bang.
it gets found. But again, it's a similar thing.
Tapi wallhack emang kayak
PaperX,
gini
they
sih.
lose one, they stack up 3 to actively re-clear that space. And
Halo,
ultimately,
wish.
again, it feels like it's their demise in this round because of YU now sitting at 11 and 5, leading the board for Wolves.
Oh main CS pakai wallhack. Astaga.
What's the executioner getting plenty of shots to the back of the head.
Astaga.
Again, this kind of, it feels like it came out of that timeout as well.
Cheat Pekalongan kah?
They've clearly got a game plan in mind of how they want to approach this, and it's
Yeah, I mean, because they're reading it perfectly. Again, this scenario, First Blood comes through, they know PaperX are going to re-clear. So there's going to be one, potentially two other lanes on the map that are totally open for YU to walk into.
It's very impressive to watch because PaperX are a really hard to handle team. You only have to look at the names they've taken down to get to this point, right? It makes perfect sense. Liquid, Sen, G2, I mean, they're a dangerous team. You know, if you want to talk about, oh, these kind of, intelligent teams, they play that, good quote-unquote Valorant, they've fallen for this, but Wolves have come in very prepared. And maybe just, very, very ready for what PaperX like, understanding the tendencies.
Prepared, yes, but actually refining some of the things that we've seen them adapt here in Toronto, which is actually what's so refreshing to see, again, on a dream run like this, an underdog dark horse, but actually improving game by game. Upsets along the way, sure, but actually showing they've got their heads screwed on.
Yeah.
Ya
It's
kan,
very impressive. Now,
Pekalongan
for
tuh kayak
PaperX,
nggak tahu kenapa tuh.
once again, you kind of go into the
Terkenal
archives,
banget
right?
cheatnya.
As much as everyone likes to look at these guys as underdogs, they've had to rebuild. That is true. Bringing in Patman was fantastic.
Iya sih,
It
game
worked.
school dulu
We've
ya.
seen the difference in their playstyle as of
Game
late.
school,
They're starting to look
zaman gue
much
SMP dah.
better overall. These guys have sat in finals. These guys have been in Champions finals. They know what this sort of pressure's like. They are never going to be the underdogs in my mind. They're too talented for it.
Iya.
So as it stands, they need to adapt here.
Just look what's happened here as well. PaperX already drawn a player across. I mean, Divine now reconsidering, but Spring
Aduh, adik-adik.
up towards Tree. Divine again, counter 3, almost caught one here. Now, again, shows presence on the other side. So Ice towards the minimap, look what happens. Immediately, PaperX looking to isolate the weaker side of this default, but they pick up the pace towards A.
I like the intention, actually, I really do. But the problem is the stall out's fantastic from PaperX.
Kalau
Denying that
dilewatin.
space being taken freely, they're here quickly, pop the ult from something. Information galore in 25 seconds. We are now at pressure stations. Forsaken down on 30, has to respect the paint shell. A spray through the smoke here doesn't allow for something does. They're dwindling in numbers. Super BD and Spring, the last two standing, and they are cornered here. This adjustment from PaperX, Divine! Stunning from them, they worked it so well.
Now that is a beautiful recovery considering what happened elsewhere. It was paranoia, showstopper, so much thrown towards YU. And in that situation,
mungkin bintang 2 kalau nggak 3 ada pensi berarti ke Call of Duty Warzone. Aduh, aku nggak main game-game itu lagi, kayak game cowok banget gitu kan.
This is really nice for PaperX.
Iya kan kalau Valorant kan kayak masih ada warna-warninya gitu, agent-nya juga warna-warni anjay.
That dose of discipline at the beginning, the second contact's made.
a sprinkle of discipline.
Makanya skinnya juga banyaknya skin cewek banget gitu kan. Miss Bloom, Euphoria. Emang aku nggak cewek banget.
Even those rotations coming in so quick. Back into the mix of things. A buy for both sides. Still lacking for some areas on PaperX's side. You can see that Guardian still in the hands of Divide. And a stack up from Wolves. And on the other side, Forsaken, not too far. A clear towards Mound and a wanted punish. You can see they're starting to read this maybe Mound pressure, trying to maybe toy with those expectations off of that fade utility.
They kind of know Forsaken's the key stakeholder in terms of those set pieces outside C. Try to shut him down here. Again, beautiful read or assessment, I guess, of the previous situation.
And some people may look at these two teams and see them as just those mechanical monsters, but this is a really cerebral game so far.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Seeing these rotations on rotations, these adjustments. Oh, Spring almost. And now a moment of quiet here.
That could slow things down potentially.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kind of pre-take, I guess. And the plant's going to come in. Now this should encourage movement here. Just going to kind of eat the Prowler, still close range, still able to use the shot.
Dapat lagi. What the heck?
So a 3v3 in the post. Look at the position from YU. That is, excuse
Dua
me,
shorty
coming
ya.
from CFAT BB. He is still on the way, but they've still got to slow things down. YU does well. Lightsor still has to hold ground here, and now the silence becomes deafening. The position becomes questioned. They don't know where he is, but they're going to hazard a
Aduh,
guess.
gak ada expect lagi dapet
BB
nih.
does well on one. Draws to fire off the defuse. Just needs to keep his cool here. This would be everything
Susah ini
for him. Try to play
1v1.
to the time, play to the tempo,
Digangguin
play to the
pasti.
clock, and play him like a fair dog.
Tuh kan? Overthinking soalnya.
This guy, time and time
Clutch or
again,
spec nggak tuh?
looks so composed in the clutch. It closes out a 7-5 half here, Lauren. Fantastic stuff from Wolves.
This has been an exceptional game so far. Just brilliant from
Aku
both
baru
sides.
tahu
And
kalau
again,
main Valo,
on surface,
kalau
you
main
may
di
have
Valo
thought,
biar
it's
akurasinya
not gonna
kena
be this
musuh harus
in a
nunduk.
really
Enggak
cerebral matchup.
weh.
This has been a
Nunduk
wondrous
itu
affair.
tuh cuman buat ngehancurin ini crosshair
Any sort of
placementnya
taste to here
musuh.
towards the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll find out
bener.
very
Yeah,
shortly.
we will, because we do have a bit of a treat as well coming up. We do have the one and only Mixwell standing by for us. So that'll be where we're going to in just a
Sama
second.
aja sih.
So I can't wait to hear from him.
Cantik-cantiknya
He's been
tadi.
in these scenarios. Let's see how that feels from the other side.
Well, one of the perks of being here live during finals weekend is being able to run into legends.
Bentar aku lapar, aku mau masak.
Streaming here from the venue now.
Menonton Peperek
Welcome
sambil
back to
memasak.
Canada. You've been here before. What do you think about the crowd so far?
I think the crowd is one of the loudest I've ever seen. To be honest, I traveled to a lot of tournaments in VCT, so they are doing a great job.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be among them now. You have a little bet when it comes to Wolves. Can you explain it to everybody what happens if Wolves win this event?
I wasn't familiar with their game. At the start of the tournament, I said that if Wolves wins the event, I'm gonna go bold. So now I'm afraid I need PRX to win today, please.
Toronto, what are the chances do you think of him going bold? Come on, are Wolves going to win this event? Oh, it's not looking good for you, Mix. Oh, it's not looking good. Now, some of the players on stage, you know, we've really seen their personalities. Sufat, BB, Forsaken, they're on their feet. They're hyping up the crowd. As a former player who also enjoys that atmosphere, how important is it to have that hype man on your team?
I think it's really important, especially when they are down. Some games, Wolves were down and Sufat brought Juicy back, for example. And I think it's crucial. I think that you have to play with the crowd, you have to enjoy the moment, you have to be in the moment. And Wolves, especially, they are enjoying it a lot. And a lot of people want to cheer for them as well because of that energy. And now I like them. Even though I might go bold, I like them.
All right, we shall see. I hope you do go bold at the end of this event. Thank you very much, Mixwell, for joining me. And let's see if PaperX can maybe save him in the second half.
The one thing I will absolutely agree with is this crowd has been amazing. For both teams as well.
But the second thing I will say is actually referencing back something we were talking about in the cast the other day. We do see the econ report here from Coinbase. Again, very evenly contested first half here. Why are you the ones to really pull ahead here? For Wolves, but also Divide on the other side of things. But just to come back to that same point again, the resilience. Juicy the other day, an absolute stinker of a first half.
Yeah, really
But again, the vibes never changed on stage. You can see maybe hints of frustration coming through, but that's where players like Sufat BB really pay dividends in terms of a team's mental.
I mean, we talk about the sixth man, right? Being that crowd behind you to get you back going.
You almost need a conductor actually from the stage to be able to actually channel that back into getting a team back online, and Wolves certainly have tapped into that here in Toronto.
All right, PaperX now on the attack, 5-7. Oh, Divide, headliner, a big player in big games too. Don't forget what this man can do. 3 pivotal kills and a stark reminder of who PaperX can be.
We dictate the pace now. You can't sit back in the default. We'll bring the fight to you. Now, YU in spring, well, just YU left now on a 1v5, an ace needed. The Jin gonna shut down any hope of recovery. Kicking off the second half with a flawless round victory.
And you're right, I think what you said, controlling that tempo, making their fights their own. Hard to handle on all occasions.
PaperX are gonna dial into that. That's really, I guess, we've asked this before of Wolves. Kind of stabilize a little bit in the second half and really get to grips with what their opponent's going to try and achieve here. Is again, no secrets on the way in from PepereKSS. Stack misplaced here, so his second successful approach towards 8. Hopefully.
Yep. And I getting looked towards Devi here, 2 away from his ult so early on. I mean, that could be there for the bonus, right? Huge.
It's like, yeah, his third 3K or something.
1 off now.
So far.
That's brilliant. Massive attack inside, that could be lovely for them to have in the back pocket. Something that Wolves will have to deal with.
Coming to your first buy round, to have that ultimate available is brutal. Wow.
Guys.
A response now.
Easy, Tiger. We shouldn't get more dangerous than this. Stop it. Stop it. Jing and Forsaken keep this in control. Stop it! What is going on? Forsaken left in a 1v2. Come on, Forsaken, surely you keep this safe. Backpedaling away, trying to play the time now. This should never have been this close. Seems like being forced to move. But that got way closer.
Come down to a Red Bull clutch here. Just one rifle retained. Now you're almost relying on Devi's ult to be the turning point here. But PepereKSS are able to get the purchase together. Jing, judge, but I saw finding so much value here. Oh, Jing. Okay. Blood pressure check required.
We'll get the heart rate monitors out next time. Now, again, keep in mind they do have Devi's ult here. So this is something you've got to see them build around and be aware of. Quick little pain shot to try and maybe delay.
The Wolves adjusting perfectly for this. There's actually nobody here. Yes. Entry found, but it's a full 5v5 in the post.
Sheet timing on this. It looks like something wants to try and hold this back. They're willing to try and brawl on the site. They're not sitting deep at all here. Something wants to draw blood. PRX still standing by. Oh, it's messy. And now there's an opportunity. PRX though, banking on Jing. You know he'll give you a couple here. Beautiful from him. Now down in the 1v2. Incredibly difficult for CFAT BB again. Not gonna happen. Jing's got that one all day long.
The tempo shift here on the half certainly suiting PepereKSS. Now one to the good, 8-7 the scoreline. Can get this judge up close and personal. Jing falling around for him. Good progress towards the showstopper as well. Gonna potentially, well, should. All right, let's have that for the next buy round here. Down on a bit of a Chico. Ultimates to their name. It's CFAT BB the closest, and well, actually Lysol away from the TP, but not necessarily too impactful.
Okay. Okay. And that's a recoverable weapon. No one else is here, so the game should be given away to an extent. Obviously now, the hit being noted by YU, trying to buy time, but it's hard to hold this back, right? It's a flood of players, full kit.
Nobody was watching, don't worry. We didn't see it.
Yeah,
we didn't see it.
All good, all good. PepereKSS though got to steady the ship here. Can still get a little bit scary. And now Juicy does have that Vandal, right? Can they play him in? The post plant is purely on the site itself, Mike. There isn't anyone sitting deep.
I mean, he's got 4 sheriffs basically to rally behind here and try and make this rifle work. First, Patman's forward.
Okay, Devi now. Gonna have to do work here. See if BB does well. Devi.
Ace anjing.
He's a big player in big games, and he just had a hell of a lot of impact.
Blink and you miss it. One of the quickest aces I think we've probably ever seen.
Look at this. And they needed him. They needed this. It was all going wrong. Whoa.
That is just
magic.
Beautiful to watch back.
Anjing.
He's going through it.
Berangkat lagi.
They're getting close, Wolves, right? They're getting close on these rounds, getting a little bit scary. But the scoreline looking good for
Gokil
Paperex.
Davai.
9-7, a bye back in hand for Wolves, though. They have to stop the rock cross.
Angkel.
This could be
Nginep lagi.
the round to find that response.
Kedua, malah berangkat.
Back to you, Fat BB's ultimate.
Promo dulu. Habis bro.
Alright, obviously retrieve.
Gasin lagi kembali gitu loh.
All about side C. There's a bit of a gap here with Forsaken solo anchor towards A.
Bener-bener ya, Bang.
Obviously, possibility here.
Iya juga sih, udah.
And
Sudah lelah kerja corporate guys.
second player actually to come across fairly quickly, but
Capek dengan korporatan.
Well, here comes the test. And then, don't know if that's going to reach. It does. So Lysol will be noted. Draws the paranoia. Okay, counter on counter. They can't hear a thing here. Divide though, unaffected, unfazed. 35 seconds getting close now. The paranoia burnt early, and Lysol needs to be ready. This is a lot of pressure coming his way. You're going to hear the ults coming out to secure the plant, but Lysol still does the damage. Can't do the dance though with Forsaken, and that's a beautiful catch from CFAT BB. Punishing Jing on the push-up. And now the plant gets hindered. Problems now mounting. Spring at the door, and now it's just on Divide. Position noted earlier, they should be aware. But this man's dangerous, but not today. Spring's got his number, and Wolves back within touching distance.
so we needed them to find a response here. They finally stopped that string of rounds.
Anjing. Gila. Kayak Rodi dong itu.
Getting costly here on both sides. Showstopper shut down here from Jing, desperate to try and convert.
Hai baby, aku fans. Halo Bang Domain.
The money from Paperex.
Yeah,
Hi,
it has,
See
yeah,
how
I mean,
close these rounds have been.
it's not necessarily been a walk in the park for that string of rounds, but
Fans banget ya,
Jing
fans banget ya.
looking to put this rifle to work. Start of round 18.
He's had a feel-good round not too long ago. Ooh,
Oh, look at that
yeah,
anti-TP
that-
sets up!
Oh, it's so sick! You think Wolves are just another team? They're certainly not very ready for what Paperex wanted to bring. Forsaken picking up what feels like the cursed rifle at this point. It's dropping hand to hand. Divided well last time in a scenario not too dissimilar to this, but not be able to get it this time. Yeah, hand on
Ya,
balls.
9-9 gini
Ready.
bro.
Something just walking into a blender. Was it both nanos actually into that
Kinda
corner?
looked
The
like
alarm bot was there as well.
Yeah,
Obviously the vulnerable taking effect.
second time.
Yeah, it
out
was.
there.
Yeah, the second is here.
No escape, really.
Ini kayaknya tim bola yang
God.
And actually, yeah, I was getting, yeah, Jing's forced into the line of sight as well. So great little setup here
Belum ada, Bang.
from Wolves will actually get them a second round. Force a timeout as well from Paperex.
Ini Wolves sentrik di klub bola.
Oh, emang iya, Bang.
So we'll be
Wolves tuh dari
required to
Liga
stand
Inggris
on their own
Wolves
2 feet
Hampton.
now for the remainder.
Oh, iya, gue baru ngeh lagi.
9-9 the scoreline.
Masa aku gak ngerti bola.
I just keep thinking, oh, okay, Paperex back to that 4 in the row. You start to have Jing popping off. You've had Divide doing, you know, acing out. It looked good.
Ya.
But then these last two, Wolves never feel like they look like they're under pressure. It's always possible with them. That nice little setup, these last 2 rounds, very considered.
Find themselves in a really good position actually here in terms of defensive ultimates. They got one away from the lockdown, Springs one off the pit,
True, yeah.
2 more for Juicy to find the showstopper. I mean, yes, options on the side of Paperex, but in terms of this defensive ult cycle,
Bayar Munchen, Bang.
they feel really, really good about themselves.
Serius ada, cuman
So again, even with that string of rounds now, look
Yeah.
at what's in the bank for Paperex. What's behind this purchase?
bola kalau nggak salah.
Now, even here, a broken purchase. You look at some of the shields.
Yeah.
Kalau nggak salah itu ada tim-timnya sekarang,
Kalau-
mereka punya tim e-sportnya di ini game-game bola di FIFA,
Iya.
di football.
This feels tense though, 'cause this was the one from the timeout, right? This is one with the plan in mind for Paperex.
Kalau sih kayaknya Wolves doang.
Last check-in with the coaching staff, unless we get OT.
Wolves getting a little active here as well,
Hey,
actually.
off the back of a timeout, why not? The traditional reaction
Ini
is Paperex
bro,
aware
kayak pernah lihat di mana
something.
ya.
There's 3 players in that
Kata
smoke.
gua,
You may think there's
kapan
one.
ya?
But will he expect all 3? Quick enough to find one. Great paranoia from Forsaken as well. Do they try and go on the hunt from this? Oh, the TP's lovely. big investment on that, but I like the idea behind it, taking a lot of space. But look at towards the site.
Kalau temen gua
It's, yeah, Juicy still standing here, pops the off, plays it well. Oh, catching Jing!
Apa itu?
He can't get away from him. Brought back to life before from CUBB, and now he's standing on his own 2 feet. Devi
itu
left,
pasti jadi
Sakit
bawah.
ya orang-orangnya.
all on his own.
Parlay.
Iya, Barca.
Surrounded, and he doesn't even know it. You thought that TP
Sampai
might have cut
diomong
right
gua.
through him, it didn't. The Wolves still standing together, fighting together. Devi does what he can, putting up the stand, but Wolves taking the lead.
Championship.
10 dulu mereka.
Executed to perfection here. Get a crucial trade from Juicy, but then to find the second the showstopper comes through, that splash damage. I can't believe that even catches on Jing. Outrageous scenes here.
Are you starting to believe now? The way this half started, I thought it was going to go kind of par for course, right? What you'd expect. The Wolves, once again, proving they are lethal about their business. So we go again. Money, not looking good for PeperekSSS. It's Stingers, it's a Sheriff, it's a Bulldog. All together from the bargain bin, basically, here.
Betul.
Can they make something with it? A little bit of chip on the way. Position now noted. Super BB on the
Sama
side.
dah, ini PeperekSSS ini MU kalau di bola.
But they are bombed to this lights on court sleeping.
Ah.
Expecting the pace. Juicy, a wild play through the smoke. Gonna find 2, but springs down. It gets a bit messy, but it's working out, at least for now, in Wolves' side.
Not great here for Pac-Man though.
Selamat makan
Tapi kalau
teman-teman.
juara apa pindah aja Liga 1. Jangan deh, Liga 2 aja.
Certainly doesn't feel safe to just stick the plant out, so they're waiting for something.
Kemarin rame katanya kayak di Bandung.
Does have the ultimate here, but again, 2v3 doesn't feel good.
And that chip on Pac-Man too, they're starting to feel it. Something's going to have to go nuclear. Try and save the day, but none of these fights, these engagements are fair for him. YU does well, even Pac-Man with 21 HP, and not a prayer to be had. Wolves again now, round by round, taking this away from PeperekSSS.
They hit 11 here. This is getting into really awkward territory now. You can see there's effectively a force up here. Ultimates aplenty. Talking about some of those defensive ultimates here for Wolves.
Gubernur Jawa Barat ya. Jadi Mulyadi.
See how it lies here for PeperekSSS. This is take up the lion's share. Obviously, the round loss bonus is going to be a consideration, but could potentially face Wolves here on map point on a broken buy.
On PeperekSSS' map choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all starts to compound here, but they're not there yet. 4 in a row, unanswered. Alt starting to build, money looking solid. We're going to need a PeperekSSS round. Going to need someone to step up, and it looks like something wants to try and trailblaze its way forward. Good info. 2 spotted, and the rest now filling behind that.
So whether or not they were trying to set up for potentially a paranoia there.
Oh, the paranoia was fine on one, but it doesn't quite. Juicy, still standing, still breathing. Forsaken going to find the trade out towards Lights On. Nice from PeperekSSS, unwilling to relent on the site now. Spring and what? Oh my God, what a shot! Couldn't get the second. Forsaken wants this. YU, a 1v3.
Menang ini PeperekSSS ini.
This would be something special. But a lifeline for PeperekSSS. Jump spot towards street, that's from Devi. Time's been bought, couldn't get the punish fast enough. Now they know the position. The cross should be the death of YU. I say should. Yeah, they're not giving him an inch here. Very well handled by PeperekSSS in the end. They had to keep their cool there.
Lost a lifeline here in terms of the bigger picture. Brings it within 1. Not allowing Wolves to really sit back on their laurels and rely on these ultimates. Getting so sloppy on that first kill. The paranoia almost setting things in motion, but Forsaken just
heroics there.
Just absolutely bulldozing his way onto site.
Those were your last words.
Wolves at late time out in the half in the map, round 22. comfortable financially. So he's still got those ultimates actually building back towards Juicy and Fat BBs. Almost a stacked deck here in terms of this cycle.
Yeah, it starts looking a bit scary, and that Jing's 2 away from his. Forsaken 1 off and 2 away from Patman's, but as I said, this feels like we're getting really...
Well, again, you think about it as well, if you don't invest these ultimates early on, you never really get a clean 5v5 retake versus PeperekSSS, because they'll find the plant, but they'll also, more often than not, push towards spawn, try and find a kill, weaken that setup. So Wolves do have any kind of set pieces around these ultimates. You're really looking towards Spring and YU to mitigate that risk and sit deep enough where really going to be able to rely on it too much. But said PeperekSSS, they're a team that reads into that sort of thing so well.
I'm probably going to see a paint shell, I imagine maybe a seize perhaps, who knows, but you're seeing the way that PeperekSSS want to part.
Well, first time actually the stars aligned for a fight towards Rumble here.
God, this could be right off the rip. Here we go. Already paint shell comes in, C's not going to find it, but the reveal is fantastic. Juicy going to go down, Forsaken doubling in. This is lovely from them. See if their baby does answer back in kind, but PeperekSSS aren't stopping. They want the site. And yeah, beautifully done by something. Yeah, that's stunning. Almost singular in approach, just banking on themselves.
I mean, what Plant coming through with 120 left on the clock, it's a haymaker thrown from PeperekSSS and it lands once more. Similar to those early rounds we did see in the second half.
This shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be possible, and it is. And something in the end to add the full stop to that sentence. But it is 11-11, like PeperekSSS have found what they needed. But it's getting close here. The money's still in place for Wolves. And you're looking at the
diajak main sama anak Lips lagi pada syuting. Aduh, aku lagi nonton PeperekSSS nanti dulu.
Lysol unfortunately still in the committed position. Fat BB unfortunately I guess just caught off guard by the flash. Tried to turn it, but even so you connect that first shot, you've got 2-3 more members of PeperekSSS staring you down. PeperekSSS maybe feel as if they found the recipe here. Slower approach this time around.
Benar. Ada abang-abangan lah gitu.
Resistance shown early on at least from Wolves.
Yeah.
Exploration now, so this is both YU and Spring though. Spring's going to continue pushing forwards. Might even catch Divine Spawn.
Yeah, trying to almost sell this fake, but Divine completely unawares. They hadn't seen this sort of look before. But if anything, it encourages his approach towards A now.
Team does have the showstopper as well though.
Yeah, this is going to get tense. Both players stuck on the back of the site now. Ready for the swing, but not ready for the shot. Lysol handles Forsaken, waiting for the pop. And the Olin Jinx landed it. 3v3 now. Tension rising. Something holding the push through the door on the other side now. Rewarded. Nice from him.
Nice, man
advantage and
Mas Boy habis ini.
See the lockdown invested here. It's a 2v3. The response comes
Aduh,
through
ulti ya.
from Patman, but PeperekSSS are going to fight this. Warriors found one.
Yeah, beautiful from him. They've got to react to it now. Something is enough. And Jing, what do you do?
He's caught.
What do you do?
They can just stick it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. YU just has to hold guard. And for Jing, he just has to stand back and watch as the 12 gets taken away in the final hour of regulation. Wolves take the lead.
See here, the purchase going to be rough for Wolves, but they find that response finally, finding the opportunity to invest the lockdown. I mean, it's another situation where you just see
Udah pasti hasilnya PeperekSSS kan mau nonton live-nya gitu ya.
so deep. Jing hitting the drive-by as well.
Dari kemarin gak dapat nonton live-nya gara-gara gue udah tidur dulu.
Zach kills well, but the follow-up here onto something.
Aduh, overtime ya sih.
Ultimately, that can bail Jing out in that situation. They're coming into this though. Wolves still have a pit, still have a showstopper. Big tools to work with here in round 24. The moment of silence will drop. PeperekSSS poised now. Cover going out. Once again, it's like actually a big info there. Catch him drifting away here, not necessarily looking committed. It being Jing, obviously, the tip of the spear on some of these set pieces, but PepeRex are actually going to contact up.
It all feels like the calm before the storm.
Wolves almost scratching their heads here. They invest the pit over, expecting maybe that with that information, PepeRex are rotating towards C.
There's the info, but are you ready for the hit? How do you play it for Lysor? Oh my god, he's going for the heroics. Oh, he went for the heroics and it worked out for one. Not going to get a second as PepeRex now finds stability on the site. Into the post plant, something playing a little further ahead. He wants a one and done and back away. No one's given him that yet though. And the time ticking for PepeRex here. This is good for them. Still ults in play though. Juicy has his. You've heard that invested. Flies on the side, but something does well. Gets one back. The showstopper does one. Wait.
What the? Something happened!
For Spring. It's into a 2v2. It ain't over yet. You're looking at the post plant for Devi and Jing here. Can they hold on to this? Paint shell posted by some seconds.
Menang si
They
PepeRex.
needed to stay alive. Devi
Overtime
deep,
sih ini.
and they're not dead yet. They're not
Wah.
done yet. You should have
Overtime kan?
bringing it back to 12 apiece.
Of course we see overtime
Kasih
here
overtime.
on the first map of this series. An insane exchange here throughout the second half. And PepeRex is showing a brazen
Oh
approach.
sampai tadi udah di
Yeah.
situ.
What's that
Ya
trade
itu race dari mana?
Game plan here. For Wolves,
Oh,
I gotta say it,
dari 3 apa ya?
seemingly up to the challenge. Everything gets reset now for round 25.
Apa sih ini? Ngomongin apa sih kamu?
Those ultimates will be
Itu tadi race-nya tiba-tiba muncul.
Wolves in a perfect position to close out now, but back onto the attacking side.
Kiri tadi itu. Yuk bisa
Timing is going to be critical on this.
kita lihat ya.
They've read it. They've read it really well here.
Same piece we've seen previously.
And it worked out well for a 2-for-2 trade in the end. But this time, Jing, something in unison. They're not going to let him even have a chance into this. Denied from the very word go. And Wolves want back in. They're taking the fight. He can't do that. PepeRex locked in on this. A 4v2. They should find stability, Mike. But Wolves look unwilling to back away. They don't want to go
They're
elsewhere.
expecting PepeRex to rotate away from this and give up the space, but
Dia ngepas anjir.
PepeRex reading this perfectly. Still got both extremities controlled as well, so
It's so difficult. They need a freebie. They need something, and it ain't happening. PepeRex looking sharp here.
Wah, nice one.
Right place, right shots.
Abang gua, gila jago banget abang gua.
to draw first blood this
Ini nice banget sih.
once more. On the back of the C's nade. This time around, no casualties, no trade found.
Duh, tambah cantik kami. Makasih loh, Bang.
Gila jago banget abang gua.
Wolves had to call a timeout here ahead of the second round in overtime.
So impressed by PepeRex's mental here, though, because they've been put through the ringer on this. Again, it's pressure on them more than anything, right? If you're Wolves, you've already done more than expected.
Getting fine form today.
Apa itu?
But yeah, again, usually with Wolves, you'd be talking about, you know, this unknown quantity and, you know, hard to read and stuff like that. The fact that we're talking about actually there is some familiarity between these two teams, it makes it a little bit more interesting because we've seen kind of counters to both approaches.
Yeah.
PepeRex showing they're able to dismantle those defaults, and Wolves also looking as if they're very adept at dealing with early round aggression. And I'm with you on that one.
Again, you look at PepeRex, they are a legacy team here, right? And they have that one destination in mind, that final stop. But Wolves standing in their way of that grand final. And it's down to the wire between these two. So we go again. Similar scenes, it looks like, right? It almost looks like rinse and repeat, but Jing this time is fast.
Wah, nice banget Jing.
Has gone down. It looked a little labored, but YU swings in.
Wah,
There's a second. Hold on, PaperX held back here now.
Spike just behind the wall as well. Not necessarily a comfortable push out here
That's
for
both
Wolves to
players.
control. Yeah, Divine and Forsaken
Itu doornya nggak dicek. Oh, yang buka temennya ya.
given an opportunity to reset a little bit here, but find themselves in a 2v3.
Oh, I thought they were leaving Divine there.
Tadi itu berisik banget ya, Bi. Buat tutup itu.
So no paranoia. Going to be a little gap on a follow-up smoke here.
Aku masih lapar.
Through. Juicy still got satchels.
Makan lagi ya.
Masa masak
Still
mie
a
lagi.
snake bite, so a couple of tools here at Wolves' disposal.
Kurang kah dagingnya tadi?
Oh, it's so tense now. You're going to need someone to over-deliver, and they do! PaperX digging deep!
Wah, PaperX menang, coy.
PaperX! It took so long to get there! But that legacy team holding strong on map 1.
Hey, this standing pistol round, huh?
Why you never stand up?
Apa? Daging apa? Tuh aku tadi makan jam berapa? Ini udah tengah malam, waktunya makan lagi nggak sih?
Tadi makan lagi. Boleh, kamu. Kamu yang mau. Biar ngebut. Itu apa sih?
I'm lab.
Gimana, Bi?
Ada emang. Biar ayamnya jago katanya. Nama brandnya kali.
Let me show you how the fuck done. Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Spike defuse.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Menit lagi.
Make sure you get your snacks, drinks, and bio breaks in.
Saudara kamu masuk
If you're like
di
me,
ini
send in your
negaraku.
new clones instead to do the job. Let's get ready. Where are you going, Yoru? What do you see?
Suara distortnya aku hilangin nih.
We're going straight to the left. Oh, okay. Good form here. Good form.
Yaudah.
Don't shoot the clone. Are you running into a
Yaudah,
wall?
nanti.
Got the pistol out too on top of that.
Nyalain lagi. Nyalain lagi.
Ya.
Aku pusing banget tadi aku.
Mau cerita atau enggak jadinya?
Tadi kalau udah selesai.
Oke, nih Secret Lab Valorant Collection. Jet, Reina, kursi.
Dari Valorant lah.
Dari Secret Lab, cuma Secret Lab itu kan ini kolaborasi sama Valorant. Ih, Valorant Champion Faris sudah dijual tiketnya anjing. Gak tahu. Mahal nggak sih?
Ada lagi gak?
Apa?
Ada lagi gak?
Kurang tahu.
Biasa sih.
Mahal nggak sih?
Feelingku di Singapura.
Main ya Singapura. Paling Bangkok, Thailand.
Kemarin di Singapura bukan sih?
Bangkok kemarin.
Kemarin Bangkok.
Kalau nggak gitu Korea.
Mau dilihat?
Lihat aja nantilah. Nah, kamu gas-gas aja ya. Aku aja nggak punya paspor.
Apa?
Aku aja nggak punya paspor.
Bikin dulu, ayo. Cepet kok, ntar aku temenin.
Oh, ya dah nanti gampang.
Big EMS.
What an exciting way to start Masters Toronto here today. I'm now joined by PEPEREKSS's coach Alex. Now, everybody credits Wolves as a team that has a lot of structure. How did you and your boys manage to find those gaps on Lotus?
I think it was very close affair. I honestly didn't think they gave many gaps. We knew what they were doing, but I think we played we could have done it better. We did a lot of research. I mean, they have a lot of research on Lotus, so it helped a lot.
Nice counter strike there, coach. Good luck on that too.
Oh boy, choo choo,
Iya,
because the
kayaknya.
train ain't stopping. As PEPEREKSS
Jersey-nya
managed to pick
sama.
up the win, 14-12 going into the OT there, and one has to wonder, does Wolves have what it takes to be able to force that map 3? Now, for that though, let's actually take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment. We got to give this one to YU because there were some great plays in this one, but Mimi, this one in particular shined through.
Yeah, and this is more about the round as a whole, because I think this starts so well for PEPEREKSS. Something they did great on their defense was these active trap plays. In this one, they get 2 picks, but then in classic PEPEREKSS fashion, I think end up overstaying their welcome just a little bit. They lose 2 players there, and then Wolves, after getting this nice double from YU, flicking up to the player on the off angle, Wolves goes on to win this round. And it was rounds like this, the ones that started strong for PEPEREKSS, that Wolves bounced back, that made it look like Wolves was going to take this game away in that first half there.
I love the balance also of having Spring being more the one that is going to push from the defense and YU being the one that was in the lurks in this first half of Lotus. But in the end, somehow, even with them losing these advantages and whatnot, PEPEREKSS manages to get back on the board and secure the map.
It's funny because they got theirs back. They gave away some advantages in the first half, but they were the ones winning a lot of clutches. They were the ones bringing it back in the second to push us all the way to OT. That's what you know this PEPEREKSS team for.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are so many
Wingman-nya
good
bawa
things to talk
spec lucu
about
banget.
with this PEPEREKSS team. One individual in particular,
Itu wingman-nya bawa spike lucu
we
banget.
saw some wild plays. This one in particular was nuts because my guy just walked out there, not a care in the world, Cuckoo, was like, you know what, hold this L with the sheriff. Pop, got 2 out of the break.
So many 3Ks, so many very high impact kills that he had. He even got an ace, even though Alex's reaction was not showing that he got an ace. But it was this is one of the disadvantages that they won, and one of the reasons that PEPEREKSS was able to secure this map in so many occasions was thanks to Device performance.
After PEPEREKSS's failures earlier in this year, missing out on Bangkok, having a rough start to stage 1, a lot of fans were calling for Device head when they were asking for roster changes. They were saying that he should get dropped, they should find someone new, but I think he's really proved himself in this tournament now, stepping up in some of these later games, showing us the divide that we've known has been so strong since all the way back at tournaments like Masters Copenhagen, where this team has made finals before.
Yeah, well, of course, a lot of pressure, though, on the other side of the stage for the Wolves as they're facing a potential trip to the lower bracket if they lose this next map. Let's actually go ahead and check in with Coach Fade to hear what he has to think as we get ready for that one.
I'm now joined by Coach Fade from Wolves. Now, this is the first map you've lost this tournament since that Sentinel series. What was the focal point in your team talk before map 2? And is there any concern around stamina if this series goes the distance?
I think we kind of show like nerfs again, once again, towards the end of first map. And I think stamina shouldn't be an issue because we had a 3 days break previously, so I think we will be fine.
I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, and there you see the results that you heard as well. Like, they feel good about their stamina for the Wolves, but a 14-12, that has to sting for them as they get ready for map 2, Mimi.
For sure, especially, like you were mentioning, this is a team that has not lost a map since the series they dropped to open Toronto against Sentinels. They have been on a non-stop roll up to this point, but now having to go all the way to 3 if they want to make it into the final here.
Oh, but there's such good maps for the side of Wolves.
For
Now
sure.
we're about to jump into Ascent. And we're going to see something for everybody that enjoys the map that we don't usually see. Is one team on one hand, we expect them to be playing with the Viper, right? Double controller. And on the other side, a double Sentinel with the Deadlock. That is, of course, if we do not see any changes in the agent select. And I think that we were highlighting how well Wolves was doing from their attack with those executes, how good the utility from Lysor is in that agent.
I really like their Deadlock, in particular on the attacking side. It's another map where they play super slow, just like you were watching on Lotus. But what they do well here is putting down their Sentinel utility on space they take, then resetting as a team and clearing elsewhere. So they're kind of putting down these little checkpoints to save parts of the map they have, and then being able to call back into that really late. I think a lot of teams miss out on those little details with juggling the Sentinel utility. They're great there. It's the same on defense. To me, this feels like a really strong map for Wolves to bounce back.
Yeah, I like the way they chop up the map, right? And really give themselves, like you said, a lot of these openings. The thing is, though, is that we have seen now a couple times PaperX kind of feed the beast one too many times here. And I think with Deadlock and the way that this team can play this one, Mimi, this could be quite problematic for them if they're not careful.
Siapa tuh pakai jet? Something kah
For
pakai
sure,
jet?
yeah. They have to be on point with taking calculated risks, but it definitely paid off. In the
Itu
first game.
something
Let's take a
pakai
look
jet
at
tuh, lihat
Ascent.
somethingnya jet tuh. Kebalik lihat
Jet
jetnya
or something
something.
now.
Oh, they're going back to something, you know, more standard in this case. They've moved
Nggak
away
pakai
from the
sentinel
get-go
mereka,
and the race.
satunya double
I had a feeling
sentinel.
that was going to happen, but I love, Mimi, the fact that they're sticking with this double controller
Iya,
and the
PaperX
Viper.
nggak ada
I really like the Viper
sentinel.
pops on this
Tabrak
map. I
aja
think
tabrak
they've
kali.
always been strong on defense, especially Devias looked great. But this is much more sensible in terms of the rest of the utility. You're going to put a lot into something. I'm looking at what he can do with the ult, starting on this defensive
Fade
side.
itu for a
What
second.
protocols Wolves have to deal with that.
Another player that we have to look at is Pac-Man. Very quiet performance.
Ini kamu
in
pakai
the
apa?
first
HP
something
atau apa?
that is very,
Laptop?
very different from what we've been seeing for the rest of the tournament from him.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of responsibility here because I think like you're going to want that KO maybe to try and like flash a bit with the Deadlock there to prevent that utility from being a bit of a problem. Try and sniff those things out. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him without a doubt here. Curious to see how this one plays out because really it feels like both teams are doing their homework coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I think that we also need to look at Forsaken. I think that one of the things that PaperX have to take very great care of, number one is YU, because he's going to be most likely the one that is playing outside of the pack, and that could bring some break some of the timings of Wolves that like to wait so much, and that is why I'm looking at these players to focus on.
Oh boy, all right, well, it's time now to get ready for map number 2. Toronto, you want to see a map 3? I said you want to see a map 3, Toronto! Let's send it back over to your casters who very much want a map 3. Here's Pansy and Hypoc.
Kayak di follow kemarin.
And you really can't blame us after map 1. 14-12, it tipped the way of PaperX in OT. But what a wild ride it was to get there. Now on Ascent though, Mike, has this changed any of your expectations?
I mean, you look at this, really, the upset would have come from Lotus for me. If Wolves could close out here, PaperX struggled domestically here on Ascent. They obviously have the loss to Genji previously here, sorry. So this is the opportunity now for Wolves to get back in control of this series and force a third, because Split should be an absolute barn burner if we get there.
Please, look.
Always delivers, man. A Split decider, always.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's see if they can get there first. For PaperX, though, in their minds, there's always been one goal, and it's the grand finals, right? This team put togetger, went back to the drawing board. to rebuild.
There was a great line from Devi, I think, in one of the interviews, talking about every time he sees
like
the champs
kenapa tuh?
LA finisher in-game, it haunts him. A couple of them actually just
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
brought up on map 1.
Mau
So
dimatiin
again,
kah
Lotus
suara
have been
Discordnya?
starving to truly understand hunger, and for PaperX, they've never really got that first place. Not when it mattered, so for them, probably the best chance they've had in a minute's time, but still, it will be Wolves on the attack, PaperX on the defending side. Something tries to stake his claim towards middle, but will be warded away.
Back on the Sheriff actually here, juicy.
Ada bang gua di sini nih bang.
Close and personal, Sean actually forsaken caught on the retreat back.
For second, sama Bang sendiri aja lupa loh.
There is still 2 players on this side of the map for PaperX, so Patman's still here. Jing still on this side too. Slow and steady again for Wolves. And it looks like PaperX wants this back, but it's just going to end up being a brawl, isn't it? They're ahead of the smoke, but what's the util on the corner? There isn't any. So Jing and Patman do really well. Eventually they traded effectively though. Wolves keep the man to the good, and they get the site for themselves.
That's the good, something down for 34 HP as well. But 2 Sheriffs on the side of PaperX here. Good pack a punch here on the retake. For a spam, actually, exchange back and forth. Still got a drone in play here for CFAB.
That is lovely. Gonna have to keep themselves tucked in on this. I think both potentially spotted yet, and that was huge. And someone can't get the shot. CFAB BB off to a great beginning. But again, for Wolves, you got to make it work on these attacking sides.
Absolutely do. Talked about that being the main objective on Lotus. Did deliver.
One enemy remaining.
Repeat it here once more. Something. You can't get that economy building, as Mimi mentioned, what he can get done with the operator potentially on the defensive side, always a factor on Ascent.
Right here.
Wolves have the tools to really prevent that from happening. Fairly invested here on round 2 as well, respect being shown to PaperX. It's only spring on a Sheriff, Bulldogs across the board. Actually, with that round 1, CFAB BB already halfway to the Hunter's Fury as well, so looking for further progress potentially.
But again, a reminder of that last map too. These rounds are free. When it comes to that second round, it's just a Sheriff, even it's just classics. PaperX will make something out of it. For now though, again, it's a considered approach towards taking the time around the map.
Tar dulu, gue lihat.
Due diligence. And CFAB BB will be working towards Ascent, that, or I imagine probably getting priority on that here. Caution needs to be shown. That deep horn over towards B, you should have seen on the mini-map. Pretty indicative of no one's there, and the connection of the knife. So they should be pretty locked in for what's happening.
I have the spike.
Considering set piece here around the cage from Lysol, but
Are they cancelling on this?
30 seconds left. They need to find progress somewhere.
Dangerous,
especially with players like Jing tucked up. Very deep position. Laboured, but Wyu comes out on top.
Yeah, the paranoia goes into sight, so they should be able to kind of springboard through this. Unless someone wants to smoke, now you can't. Now you're held back. It feels like the anti-PaperX, doesn't it? But they still find a way through. Divide up and over the top, but at this point, the plant's going to be in. So very difficult to find much surprise, even ahead of maybe that deadlock util. You've got to be cautious. Again, you can afford losing one player, that being Spring. The rest you don't want to lose, and Wyu took a risk, but he should be fine here. Yeah, stability looking good. CFAB BB going to be building very close to that. Oh, and a lovely round in the end from Wolves there, Mike.
Initially, CFAB BB did have the spike, but plant coming through elsewhere. Still, fantastic progress made.
I got scared here, though.
Very, very worried, yeah. And the Bulldogs sometimes can be a little hard to tame. CFAB BB not having that issue in that regard. Sticking the spray. Now, that purchase, especially with Spring upgrading as well.
Wow, this is a nice spot.
Makes this round 3 doable here for Wolves. Actually, 2 light shields on the side of PaperX as well for something and Forsaken.
They're fighting on every front though, PaperX here. Pressure down B main, pressure down cap, pressure on towards A main. It's a really risky ploy. I guess it does burn some of that early util for Wolves though, so there is that, and they're really committing the paranoia on that too.
Cover going out.
Spring on the opposite side here.
Nggak habis dari
even
mana-mana,
comes out
Bang.
positive in any of this, it would be incredible for him.
Masih di sini.
Because in the meantime, look at where the spike's going, Mike.
I think if he can show presence or something, actually. Forsaken's walked all the way up as well.
They don't know about Forsaken. Oh, it's a quick beheading. Couldn't get the follow-up on Lysor, and it might be the green light to go towards B. Still a player to hold his divider down low, but still standing and still breathing on 35. He takes YU out of the equation. Now starting to flounder a bit. You can see it with Wolves. This was only their bonus, but still struggling to find the landing on this up against the 4 remaining for PaperX. That's going to be dealt with. You look at that mid lurk coming into effect too, but that's not going to find the value they want. And yeah, something clean within. Lysor still making something of this. Spring still got his paranoia. If he can get through here.
Apa ya berdiri-berdiri jadi kalem ya?
Risky off the back, but still. And now the smoke
Tahu komen yang berdiri-berdiri jadi kalem katanya apa maksudnya?
Tries to find that second before the paranoia lands, but 8 seconds now. Wolves. One by one, they are taking down PaperX, and Jing seems unaware of the possibility of Spring being so close. Smokes of his own and a couple of TPs. How do you divide and conquer this? I do not know. But all eyes drawn to that potential in the smoke. Jing steps forward, smoke goes down, and Spring finds him. Mike, I can't believe what I just saw.
Conversion on the bonus here. Talked about the threat with all those Bulldogs. It looks like PaperX initially come out with a win to catch this kill, but not just that, the information that Wolves are descending upon B site. But some key pieces of utility, key damage towards Divide in that initial exchange.
You can finally
Pays off massively for Wolves. Get themselves the upper hand here to kick off map 2.
I'm waiting with bated breath, right? Because that's a huge start for them. Because I feel like once you get PaperX on the attack, they come into their own, right? Able to control the tempo, kind of do what they please. But if you can stake a good claim for yourselves, the opportunity's yours. YU. Quick reminder. The PaperX are lethal no matter the weaponry, and that is going to be an upgrade for something.
Gak tahu PaperX ini sih hobi banget 3 map sih.
But still, good stall here.
Yeah, drone cancel.
Ya.
Massive.
Kan mereka udah menang nih map pertama, nanti map kedua tuh mainnya aneh banget, map ketiga baru menang lagi, biasanya kayak gitu, kalau lagi bener.
Gonna take down Juicy. Hold on, this is not completely secure by any means. There ain't no 3v3, sure, but look at the HP of Lysor. See if BB does have his ult, but I don't think he can get away from that default plant spot. So Spring waiting. Now sees that. Forsaken, are you aware?
Ih, pas banget lihat tuh, tinggal di spray aja tuh kena tuh.
Focus towards short. Nice from Spring, but he goes down. And now something and Divine need to come together in this. Somehow figure it out. The deeper off angle from Lysor was lovely. Leaving Divine. What a shot! You got one more of those. You've done it before. You had the ace before. The man is a monster, but he's got to prove it now and see if that BB has been ice cold in these. He knows the time, he knows the tempo. What is that from Divine? A belting shot, and once again, doing the unimaginable.
Uncle Davai, coy. Antara 3 map satu suka bikin deg-degan. Ya kan, ya kan.
Continuing to deliver here today in this series.
God damn, just give the man a sheriff.
Another
lihat
three-piece
tuh.
for him
Tangannya,
to add to the list. It's rough as well, the reset.
Lihat tangannya.
Spot safe initially, but that position from CFAT BB, it's a gamble. You can get a cheeky half defuse in, or you can go ahead and stick it. It forces the hand, especially with the recon bolt being used so early on.
Now they start pressuring the point. Look at that deep line already adopted by something in that operator. Sit towards that. Prowler going to be clearing. No one nearby now. My ult is ready. And the ult gathered too, so a nice early step.
Masih ada Jason nih ya.
Potential to backstab this. I think they're reading
Jason
into
itu
maybe
second,
some deep presses. Yeah, we'll catch the backside of something for sure. And the second player.
Ooh, that is bravery. Why are you swinging that? Forsaken doubling down. It's a mistake and a punish. Is why you will lap that up. And now that B-side looks so vulnerable.
Flash. We'll guarantee the cross. Juicy's going to find Divide as well. And actually, yeah, that might just be
Spike planted.
the white flag put up from PaperX here to hold on to
Sisa
these
dua
weapons.
gitu mereka.
No point feeding into this potentially with Juicy. close to that ultimate, Spring's actually already on the hunt.
Shadows
He wants to prevent
Bentar aku mau
any
ke kulkas.
semblance of safety here. The remaining PaperX players. He's going to pick up a deep position in spawn though. There's still maybe a question mark if they're in towards market or in towards spawn. Well, they will progress any further, but yeah, usually you talk about discipline and that was a lack of respect to something.
Yep.
Yeah, did he even get a shot off?
Nggak mau ambil ini, mau ambil bakpia keju kemarin yang aku beli di Jogja.
It's not necessarily that regional.
Dia expirednya masih 25 Juni. Sekarang masih tanggal 20 kan? Udah 21 ya, masih 4 hari.
Again, Forsaken's fault as well, just felt it was too late to be going for
Keras nggak ya di kulkas ya?
I think, yeah, again, once you notice the drone that's come forward, you're not just swinging onto YU there. Again, it's almost an expected response here from PaperX. They deal with the trip. They want to post something on a much deeper sight line.
Masih enak.
Again, the Prowler's sent through as well. So it's actually Wolves that have the upper hand in terms of the information game. It's a question mark for PaperX, actually. Who's behind that? And the punish, unfortunately, there
nggak main RP yang berkuda.
will leave them with a 4-1 deficit now. Timeout called.
RP berkuda, Red M ya?
There's a purchase.
Nggak ah?
Considering the
kebanyakan game
rifles
pusing.
behind this, maybe want to make a play for an orb here for something to offset that slightly. It's Forsaken going to be riding the stinger coming into this, but already a fantastic start for Wolves. Looking composed.
Yep.
As well, just hearing from Faye talking about how much actually those days off have paid off, because they've had, like we said, with the comeback in Gen G, the resilience shown, that takes a lot from a team, even if they're all smiles and on their feet on the stage and stuff. Behind closed doors, no doubt, no doubt that reset absolutely necessary to continue here in Toronto.
Yeah, spot on. So for them, it is now just how long can you keep this up? How clean can you keep this game? PaperX so far with that one round, but of course did have that timeout. You can hear the ults coming through as well for something. YU's kind of had their number on this B side, but it feels like they're getting the right read here. But you're going to go through the pit on this? No, brave enough to go for the ult orb, but that's about all she wrote. But that mid-cross is dangerous now.
I think I did just hear something pop the knives. It's not necessarily looking like as bad a situation here for PaperX.
I must wait a
They
moment.
try and navigate their way round the pit.
Looks like it, right?
There's a TP back here from Juicy to potentially collapse on B side very quickly. YU Spring.
What the fuck, itu something dia main?
Can we just like highlight the fact you're doing that to something twice now? He's been outswung. If you don't think these Wolves are gunners, you are absolutely wrong. But now they've manipulated the map well. Now they want to maybe hit that cross back in again, and this is where those stingers are going to start suffering. You're not in the right place for him, but Jing's still going to hold his ground. Paranoia primed and sent down through. Tries to escape it, he gets out at least for now. Patman's found light, Story's got support. Spring, oh, Super Beanie, they're just flying in towards him. Patman,
Oh, nice banget Batman.
How's he just got 4 there?
Puts himself in a
Something
deadly
diwanted
position
cuy.
and delivers here for PaperX.
I need to watch that one back.
It just jumps down able to get behind this so quickly. Beautiful stuff from him.
Dia ini apa udah bisa kontrol gitu.
Coach booth whatsoever. Operator back in hand now for something.
Halo Brain.
All stacked up in mid now. The smoke.
Nantilah kapan-kapan kita custom.
Who's next?
See Juicy going to try and pave the way.
Enggak.
Actually, right, Red's it round the corner there.
And something seems unafraid at all, and he gets out of danger. Trying to combine it with a Hunter's Fury, but it finds no value really.
Custom baju
And now
mana dia
Forsaken
weh?
just stands his ground. This feels like it's fallen flat here for Wolves. PaperX getting a good read and a good idea. It's going to need a hero. Stand tall. Spring's done well on towards Batman. Doesn't expect to buy. So close. Great trade for Divide.
Dia sambil jalan tapi pas berhenti itu langsung pencet. Pas berhenti itu langsung mencet ini arah berlawanannya gitu. Jadi langsung berhenti. Makanya pelurunya lurus.
Should find a straight 2v2 on either side here, but the issue being something is posted up.
Gak bisa main Valo sama aku juga.
Not many tools left to. Actually, no, I haven't said that. Recon and Juicy with a full belt almost.
Trying to send it for the fake, I guess.
30 seconds left.
Nice idea. But it's not going to dissuade these players. They don't need to move.
PaperX can sit in this formation now, and I think actually Wolves, because they don't get a bite.
Masih belajar aim, main aim laps bang.
I mean, YU 450, Spring 1350, and
10
Lysol
seconds left.
struggling to
balik tuh Bang Asep.
Scrape together any funds here. PaperX will find their third. Keep things honest in the start of Ascent. Let's see how the ultimates play here. It's only a TP for Spring, and as you can see on PaperX now, absolutely nothing and a million miles away from anything, to be honest with you. So a slight advantage in that regard, but it's not much. I mean, Lysol going to be potentially the next key ultimate for the Wolves.
I've got to say as well, for me, good start seeing Patman find a bit of impact too. He's been a really good player for them.
Yeah, a quiet map one as well, so seeing him come online, certainly a positive.
Oh, Forsaken, got the timing so right. He's so blind. So a good bit of spacing and trading from Juicy just to swing that. But the next layer to this is still something. There's no pressure towards middle, but he's very paranoid about it. They want in on this. Still not noting him. The stall's there. If they try and disrespect it, it's going to be brutal. And it is. Yet way too difficult on the way in. Juicy, what is that? You're 1 HP. You're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff. And now Spring left in a 1v2 as well. So unwilling to deny that that scale up towards B was their right idea.
They're wrapping the spike as well. Both Jing and something.
He's got his paranoia, smoke, TPs. He's got a bit of kit here to play with though, Mike.
He's left guessing. Potentially, yeah, going to get himself a clean plan.
Shadows traveling.
With the smoke towards CT, kind of implies he's not expecting this wrap.
Certainly does. TP should be noted too, that paranoia. What do you do with it? Yeah, a little interested on that, but the corner, slow peeks ain't going to get you past something. And he's going to take a stand on that one. But it felt like Wolves were so headstrong in wanting to hit towards that B site, but the scaling up just didn't feel right there.
Initially, that first kill was Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken gets caught here with the flash.
Revealing area.
Again, you look at the minimap at that moment, and there is a huge gap in the PaperX defense. So happens. I mean, Juicy picks up a little momentum, but that kill there, he was down to 1 HP, and the shorty connects from here. Just as the door is about to close. Potentially sealing that post plan for Wolves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, felt like it. And now Wolves starting to run dry, it looks like. Again, when we're talking about these sort of big stage games, it is that level of comfort on here when you're under the gun, because yes, they did lose out to, what was it, Sen early on, but beyond that, they've not really dropped a map for Wolves. They've been on that kind of momentum run. So now they're starting to hit that brick wall, right? You kind of expect it in towards these sort of games. The caliber just keeps increasing. I want to see how well they do in this. Obviously, they did great against Gen G. That, to me, was the tick in the box of authenticity.
Yeah, almost a turning point.
Yeah. Like everything else, I feel like, okay, maybe people underestimated them. Maybe they...
Yeah, because you have that step up again for playoffs where it's like, obviously the stakes get raised. We're not talking about elimination for Wolves, but certainly the caliber increases, the pressure definitely correlates with that. And then you step into a series versus PaperX. Talk about Gen G being an international titan.
PaperX, I mean, God, the
IG-nya aja nggak tahu lah.
Comes to the international stage.
IG itu udah ada di netbot tuh.
Because of their lack of, you know, let's say international trophy, there has been that worry about them, how well they do their expectations. But they are still a grand finalist team, right?
Absolutely,
That's just something that doesn't even need to be said half the time. But at this point, they've course corrected well. They've Got everything back to where they like it. And for something, he's going hunting. He knows where the man is.
Yeah, Cam dealt with quickly. You see on the minimap as well.
Lihat
Situation
tuh, tipis
developing
banget
outside
kena
A side.
tangannya, mati.
The Knight's going to have given that info across. Really juicy with a rifle here, and all of that if you may.
This feels very classically Paper X as well, but a dangerous position for Forsaken. He could get outswung here, and he is on his own because you saw the rotation route coming out from something, so times it well to back away, and that C's obviously giving it a couple of seconds and actually plays back in something. You don't often see fights this deep on the map, but welcome to Paper X, I guess.
Yeah, Paper X just don't want Wolves to sit back and set up here, preventing any rotation back towards the B side of the map. Pac-Man still commanding this space, and actually Knife will reveal everything if he threw it.
I mean,
probably still knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah, look
They've
at
got
this.
the, yeah, the snake bite and the fragment.
Oh, this is an awful sight to have to try and approach. Basically dry at this point. Yeah, Juicy still going to get Jing down, but we're... Okay, guys, you were primed for this. And Divine looks like he's trying to do everything himself. What on earth is going on here? Something that's unfair. That's a bit of bullying, but I like it. 5-4 now, tipping the scales on their side. And I've got to say, Wolves looking a little bit shaken by this.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't want to say lost for answers, but unable to really troubleshoot with some of these approaches that Paper X are displaying here on Ascent. Juicy, again, good for two on the way in here.
Yeah, surprise.
A moment where Divine can't ping down Spring.
Paper X watch party loving that one, but 5-4 we go back through. Buyback in play. And it looks simplistic in approach, it looks direct, and something looks to turn this operator into a shotgun. I mean, he's feeling himself here. It's a really risky play. It's now been... Oh! Great target selection! Catching Sufat Baby just in towards the Aldrone. And he's still standing. He looks like he wants to absolutely pop off here. And he is. One by one they come! And one by one they fall. Can he find that final man as well? YU looking to try and take towards the site. But something's been dominant about this so far. The double swing. Position noted. Something's going hunting. Hungry for his 4-3 already in the round. There's not much to be done for YU here, Mike.
Especially not now. Already a solid idea of where he's at. Paper X just want to decisively close out round 10 here.
No escape. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Something gets his fourth, and he is just getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
Like they're channeling into that 6th gear. Putting up now 5 rounds unanswered for Paper X.
Oh.
Did start a 4-1 scoreline here. The Tides certainly have to draw out a second timeout here for Wolves. And the opening stretch of Ascent. Desperate, I guess, from Fade to try and recover things here. Hope for a 6-6. Actually see Fat BB, who wants to really lead this dialogue.
Yeah, it's not Fade. This is the captain checking in with the boys. See that pressure starting to mount.
Because I guess this is the uncharted territory for this team, right? Is being on international stage and, you know, coming up against opponents that you just can't crack through that first sort of line of defense. Again, this is where these guys really earn their money, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
It's coming up with the goods here.
It's all good and well to have those Cinderella runs, right? And it's why we love them. They're such fun to witness. But the reality is normally that fairy tale falls short. There's been very few occasions where it's gone the whole distance. You could argue EG at Champs was probably one of the only ones that ever made it.
The outlier, yeah.
That is it. Paper X have been that fairy tale run in the past, but they never quite made it themselves. For Wolves, they have to face that reality now. How bad do you want it? Do you have really what it takes to push someone like Paper X away from something they are singularly focused on? That grand final is what they want. Jing gonna draw blood. It's beautiful and juicy.
Enggak, lagi voice ini bang, lagi voice di server gue nih, lagi bertiga ini. Lo kalau mau join
Tag
sini
on
aja
two,
join.
but Forsaken happy with that. Something will follow up here. YU will fall. Now actually, reaggress here, but PaperX will correct.
Yeah,
just see you back now.
They're making it hurt, Mike.
Ngapain itu tadi? Mau dipisoin kah?
Against PaperX, they know when to
Nggak
keep
mau enak
on
ngetik
pressuring.
ya, elah introvert kah?
Allow you any say in the round. When he's saying a half as well. That's 6 now.
Aku bilang sini aja kalau mau voice join gitu, nggak mau enakan ngetik katanya.
Didn't even look like that was going to land as well.
Simply lovely from PaperX. And as said, the pressure starts weighing on the chest for Wolves.
Buset, tadi
It's still a
4-0 ya,
manageable
sekarang
scoreline.
mereka 4 doang. Oh, 2-0 kah ini?
But we can see these rounds and
Masih,
they're
masih,
feeling
masih.
these rounds, and there's aggression again. Something wants that deeper line, and he's got it for starters.
This is why it's so rough to play against PaperX though, when they get themselves ahead. They know to not let up. Wolves can, potentially find a 7-5 here. It will be. Big tick in the box.
Oh, bang on. But that wherewithal, that discipline, that capability in the high pressure games now is the biggest test for them. Looking a little fraught here so far. Last couple of rounds just not quite been in the wheelhouse. And again, the timing on these knives, rather good.
Fragment to prevent anybody slipping the smoke, even though Devi on watchful guard here, tucked into logs, because PaperX can sit in this formation.
Oh god. I mean, Devi's just, he does get caught playing ahead there. That is one thing that's worked in their favor. He tried to lean a little forward, gets punished.
Saya
But
kenapa
the
kalau
Guardian in
rame-rame
this
nggak
one,
ada
keeping
power
them
buat
at bay.
ngomong,
And look at
lebih
who
ke
slipped towards the site in the
nggak ada
meantime.
energi
Jinx
kali ya,
still here,
kayak
through the dark,
ya
does
iya
it well,
sih,
takes down another Forsaken,
nggak
very
bisa
well,
so
with 20
asik plus
seconds.
takut salah
The
ngomong.
leader for the Wolves
SKSD
side
aja, SKSD.
has to stand, and he
Nice banget.
falls to Forsaken at
8-4.
Such a commanding scoreline.
Really is. Wolves' resilience will be tested once more to try and come back here. I said 7-5, doable 8-4. It's a pistol round 2 potentially that makes this such a huge deficit to come up against.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out now for Wolves. This is a tough scenario. PaperX singular in their goal, eyeing up that grand final, but they're not there yet. One more half stands in their way. So they need to prepare themselves. And it seems like we're about to send it over to Vansili with Sid City standing by.
Apa tuh?
Thank you so much, Pansy and Hypok. We have a hell of a game so far, but I'm joined on the floor right now by Sid City. Toronto, give it up to Sid City.
Sid City.
Sid City, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. The energy in the stadium is insane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last time we had a chance to speak with each other, it was during an Americas matchup in LA. What's the vibes like here in Toronto in a sold-out Masters Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's insane
Ini pakai
because the
hijab
East
kah?
Coast and Canada hasn't had
Lehernya
an event like
kelihatan,
this in a long
anjay.
time. And Los Angeles always has events
Nggak
like this.
tahu.
So the crowd, I feel like you guys are like super excited to finally be here in person and watching the games. Like you guys are insane.
Toronto, you're excited? Hell yeah. And now you've had some experience playing in Game Changers before, so you have an eye for skill. In this matchup so far between PaperX and Wolves, who do you have your eye on so far?
Okay, honestly, at first I wasn't gonna say this, but after that ace with the deagle on that defuse round, Devi.
So does that mean Devi and PaperX are taking a series?
Yeah, I mean, I got PRX rocket on my sleeve right now, so I think they're gonna scare us a
Habis
little.
nonton ini
make it
main
a
apa?
close
Kayaknya
match,
habis
but I think
nonton ini
PRX
gue
is
mau
gonna,
tidur
like,
deh bang. Gue
close
biasanya
it
jam
out.
segini
I'm
udah
sorry,
tidur.
Wolves. I'm sorry, you've been great though.
Well, Wolves,
udah tidur normal gue mah sekarang nggak ngalong lagi kayak dulu kayak tidur pagi
Thank you so much, one more time,
gitu.
City. Let's bring it back to the game.
Vansili sending it on that. He's
Masih
such
nonton
a bold
PaperX
man.
loh.
He's actually been rehearsing that for the last few days.
That's what I've been hearing in the hotel.
A few howls, yeah.
Yeah, fair play. And they're going to need a couple because 4 rounds isn't many, right? PaperX sat on 8.
Apa?
You can see on the Coinbase Econ report kind of just the lay of the land, really. And it has been a bit of the something show in my mind. He has elevated. I was worried after that first round with the operator. It didn't seem to phase him. He was right back into business.
Yeah, and I think the issue being now coming into the second half, you see the string of rounds. It's been collected by PepereKSS. Wolves haven't had much of a say in some of these losses. Yes, coming down to maybe a 1v1 here and there, but all the crucial kills feel as if they went PepereKSS's way. Like I said, we started at a 4-1 scoreline. Now it being 8-4, a pistol and a round 2 can often seal the fate of a team.
Kok di kota sih? Kan ini buat party live YouTube. Kayak mana loh? Dibilang lagi ngobrol sama viewer aku.
Yeah, I think initially there, the further investment in utility.
Ngapain di kota sambil ini?
Nonton maybe the power catching on CUFAB BB made them think there's potentially a little bit of a stack.
The timing on this. Lovely timing on that, but something is free. A little bit of a
yeah.
to do some serious
nice
work.
trade.
The spring's already down low, now even lower.
Nice. Ayo adik-adik, maju. Oh, adik-adik semua kan mereka?
A 2v4.
2000-an.
Couple of members of PepereKSS tagged up, but
tekan nih ngeri-ngerinya PepereKSS yoi. Ini mah kayaknya nggak ada map 3 sih.
PepereKSS just poised for anybody to step out. That's it. Finds a second.
Okay, it's not over yet, but YU's going to come into this as well.
Nice bet.
Jing's quieted him down, but CUFAB Baby's going to see both players basically. He's got to know where they are, but he can't do it. A desperate attempt to get them back here, but PepereKSS take another step in the right direction.
On the brink of double digits. Again,
gila, OTW final kah? Aduh, OTW final banget ini mah weh.
They follow through. Wolves not able to even backtrack. Well invested here for round 2 as well.
Susah doblat, coy.
Rifles except for Patman and Forsaken. Actually, Wolves set up in a little bit of a stack here. Flash in's only going to slow down the inevitable, it feels. Maybe toying with the idea of contesting that orb, but
iya kan adanya si Jason, Jojo kan itu Jojo.
I think PepereKSS probably smelled.
Jojo mah tinggal dijemput sama tim gak sih?
I'm pretty sure. Feels weird
over
over
there.
Something looking to farm.
Accurate itu siapa namanya Accurate? Kevin gak sih?
I was curious there if Forsaken was going to show some utility on the other side of the map, because it's just Lysor, but Devi actually is calling a cancel on that.
Kevin kan?
That's one.
Dia kepik ke atas bawah gitu, tetep dua-duanya kena, nggak ada yang keculik.
One by one, the flash through smoke is nice. CUFAB BB is already noted as well. Can't really fall away from the stairs.
Yeah.
He already takes the angle. PepereKSS looking locked in here, Mike. They are pulling no punches.
No, they're not. Again, showing diligence this time around. And that's when it really flips the switch. Wolves the ones to left, kind of to sweat in this scenario. Almost a second, gets themselves, but Jing
10-4 coy, jadiin ayam.
For PepereKSS. This buy round
ayam.
That's it.
Is huge for
kind
Wolves. And this bonus
Thanks
even
PepereKSS,
bigger
aku bisa
for
tidur nyenyak.
PepereKSS if they can
Terus tidur
find it.
cepet.
Only the one
Tahu Next Player gak pemain boom lah itu mah. Aduh, udah mah jago, ganteng lagi. Aduh, Next Player cuy.
Flushed out in terms of the inventory. And Patman actually just going to ride a Sheriff through here. It's Forsaken and Jing closest in terms of this ult cycle.
Cover going up.
Nothing of note for Wolves, but potentially a pace change. Just initially, Forsaken going to retrieve one orb. Trying to retrieve one orb.
Yeah, couple times of asking. All good.
But don't have control over towards A main. So
Oh iya, gue taunya pas udah masuk boom.
A little bit cagey
Baru
as a
ngikutin
start,
next
isn't it? You
player.
can see the...
I mean, it's a huge ultimate to have in the bonus, so you know they're going to want to come for this orb.
Well, here it is. They've taken the top.
And actually, Lysor and Spring do.
Emang sebelum main Valo dia main apaan, Bang?
Now they've cleared B main. If you're looking at Wolves' side, they cleared B main. So they might leave YU here, but you can already see that rotation coming in from Juicy. He's going to try and pop himself over towards A.
PaperX aren't dead set just yet. I think maybe going to prioritize towards short here to catch somebody out. They don't want to walk into this choke point.
No, and that's going to encourage the play forward, but denied Forsaken with the first blow. And it could be a lethal one at that. Juicy. It's late, but job done, and Lysor does well. Tucked into hell, he drags down another with him. The Wolves aren't done yet, but Forsaken captured and held in place. The spike now left loose. With 20 seconds, he's got to make a miracle out of this.
Clutch
Players, Forsaken.
Yeah.
Not gonna get it.
Timing banget pegang pisau.
3 left standing as well, just an armor.
Alah, PUBG
Shield to
PC.
repurchase here for Juicy.
Jago tuh gitu.
Again, that was the bonus, so PaperX is going to come back in, and because Pac-Man only brought a sheriff to the party,
Spike down A. Spike down
it's almost rinse and repeat here. Not out of the woods just yet. Cannot get the ball rolling in terms of the comeback.
Real Kahmin, welcome back. Aduh.
But again, though, this was something that was said about that BD was building up his players, right? Keeping them confident, trying to keep them in the game. He's going to have to keep doing that because
Buset, line
PaperX
up-nya.
don't stop. Even in their losses, they will still play confident games. And something taking space. Solo Endeavor, 2 players on the other side. See if that BD and Lysor playing top mid off the back of that trip placed in as well. So they've got a lot to play off of here. A very difficult scenario. Pac-Man on that deeper line in case someone does swing. And it's got to be those early protocols being cleared.
I mean, it is a duelist's nightmare to play into this composition. But Lysor dancing with death here.
Still have that trip, so they can still have confidence behind that. They've read it wrong to an extent, right? They're kind of falling for this fade pressure on towards B main, but we know where it's heading. PaperX are once again eyeing up this A site. This is brutal. You got Juicy still here, you got Spring still here, but PaperX are right at the door now. And away they go. Something looks the wrong way and gets punished. Spring does well. Great paranoia too. Saw the roll here. Buy time for these rotations. Pressure from main held back by the smoke, but Divide gonna lean forward. Lurch closer. Juicy play in the corner. Gets denied. Looks for the follow-up. No. Spring barely alive on 2, but he's still breathing until then. Down to a 3v2. Man to the good for PaperX, and now Plant on their side.
Menang lah ini round ini.
So Fat BB a little ahead of YU. Nobody from PaperX overstepping. They're tucked in right now.
Got to see discipline. That's a shoulder shown. Some damage made. So they could know 2 players off of this. That third is a problem. That third being Forsaken, but they're losing out on the site. Couldn't quite get the follow-up. And PaperX striding closer now.
11-5, let's go.
A tough loss here for Wolves. Like you said, with the bonus being as well invested.
Ayo dong, 2 round lagi dong, gue udah ngantuk ini.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, now seems daunting to approach this round 17.
Oh, you get that sinking feeling in your
Oh
stomach.
iya,
Sure, yeah.
nonton PaperX kan tadi nggak lihat si Tens juga watch party itu. Tens, tapi dia nggak face cam si
Maybe a
Tensnya.
chances existed and died on that first map,
Oh,
but they're
udah
not out
nggak
yet.
ini dia.
At 11-5 though, you can start
Tuh, dia
hearing
nggak
that
face
music play,
cam.
can't you? That 12th round looking likely, but in its way, good couple of sheriffs, Ghost, and a team with a whole lot of hopes here. But for PaperX, they've got their own plan in mind, and that's a big investment and a big shot. Lysor lands it, so Jing's gone down. That's a weapon recoverable if they want it.
Yeah, PaperX actually aren't in a position to capitalize elsewhere. They're spread so thin. Spike not committed anywhere just yet. So that man advantage will stand for the time being. No weapon recovered though for Wolves.
Oh. Nice from Patman, big kill there on towards Juicy. That knife should reveal at least one more, so do they need to turn away from this? Or do they just keep stepping forward? It feels a little headstrong for my taste, but it's PepeRex, you kind of know what you're in for here. Lysol was the one to do the damage. It looks like they're trying to trail up towards heaven.
Nice.
Something bulldozes forward. YU, great shot. 25 seconds, and Lysol still standing. Has to go.
Masa kena thrifty sih?
One down. He's doing the dance.
Wah, nice.
Elusive and evasive to try and
Kecilan
land
banget
those
ya
shots.
kepiknya.
Sufat BB was so far away.
Spike planted.
Batman is low. Forsaken is not. I know. Oh, Hail Mary! Oh,
Nice!
for a second, I thought it was possible. But 12.
Iya, kalau mau lihat tensnya bukan lihat PepeRex-nya, enggak. Gue liatin PepeRex-nya. Kalau gue liatin tensnya nanti gue dipukulin sama Kaide, cuy.
This time PepeRex able to wait out, navigate their way into this defense.
Aduh, menang ini mah jangan sampai di pisau di akhir match kayak T1. Yang di pisau di akhir match itu tim Heretic bukan sih? Yang gara-gara tonting-tonting terus kena comeback, mampus.
Few members just one away from some of these key ultimates, but we'll even get a chance to see them. Juicy, Sufat BB.
Oh iya, T1 juga.
Anti-setup though, which is nice.
T1 itu timnya accurate kan? Accurate.
Very likely layers of ults though. Lysol could be in trouble here. Sufat BB
Kelarin nggak sih?
Nice bet. And he's rewarded. Great kills on two. Finding more would be mythical at this point. But for PepeRex, they are left in tatters. Mike, I don't know if they can do it, just these two plays. Desperation play from Batman. Has got his back. The Wolves stave off what feels like the inevitable.
Dari tadi mereka ke A menang mulu, ngapa ke beda?
Clinging to life here, the neural theft being the catalyst for PepeRex. They know they have to fight for sight then. Hey, Batman down to just a lick of HP.
Satu round lagi loh.
To sit back and try and defend that, but Juicy, really the one to.
Tas ombak kali, PepeRex kali ya. Biar si itu siapa tuh?
Second ping.
Namanya Patman kah?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, bukan Patman.
I say ult. A scary one with something. He's had a really good map.
Ini kalau saving menang lucu sih.
Can they deny him now? Can they stop it now? Spring forced away, looking a little shaky, but something's fallen.
He's caught on the trip, nobody broke it for him.
Which is a little bit worrying. That could be a tilter for him there, because that was meant to be their kind of, I guess, main part of the piece.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nightmare for Jules to play into this competition. We really need that second or third man in line. Deal with that sort of thing here. Juicy deals with Jing handily.
Ini mah lagi saving mereka, biarin aja.
The dream gap to try and punish, but not to be.
Cuman bawa klasik, bawa sheriff gitu kan.
And Wolves aren't allowing it. Patman does well towards sight.
12-12 anjir, gokil. Di sini nih baru. Tapi ini si Wolf udah bisa beli OP gak sih?
Double digits. That's where I'll start believing.
Kali ya pada beli OP ya.
PepeRex up to 12 here. And that is a frustrating one.
Dia terbangnya mati. Oh, dia kena itu. Kena apa? Trapwire.
Bladestorm invested in that sort of round in particular. You never want to see a
Habis ini
jet
kalah
have
lu.
to invest a knife to deal with a trip, especially with two people in close proximity. But necessarily a big deal. Things considered.
Kalau abis ini menang bisa beli OP mereka.
Looking for revenge up here.
Yeah, this time he wants in. Sufat BB playing top mid.
Menangin gak sih PepeRex?
The rest of the team split throughout. A bit of a default coming out from PepeRex. Maybe trying to catch some of the aggression.
Chat semangatin.
As well. Gonna spot out Lysol.
Emang iya, Tens facecam. Bohong lu, orang dari tadi dia kagak facecam. Gue pukulin lu ya.
Potential trouble. Does have his paranoia.
Mana gak ada nih, Nenek gak ada Tens.
Juicy's gonna clear and give away. There's no one here, but they don't know about Jing.
Tens. Dia live di YouTube apa ya?
Know about Jing, and now you do. Like a knife to the heart, but Spring answers back.
Nice banget menang ini mah.
Spring,
menang gak sih?
Absolutely beyond all expectation, but it is a 2v2. Don't think it's over yet. Spike is there.
Pacarnya KD. yang pas first time meet dia nonton hentai.
Oh my god, this is gonna be down to the wire, isn't it? Divide
Oh, di
disconnected towards A
TikToknya ada
main.
face
You have Jing
cam.
tucked towards sight. Spring.
What? Just missed him.
The timing, unbelievable. Spring trying to play the game, and Jing now going to be doing the around
Hang on,
the world here, but they've given up
the
position. This could be a mistake here, but they don't know about it. Obviously, they don't know about it. The pit's going to fall. And now you're looking at Jing. Divide strikes first. What?
Yeah.
Hold on again. Can he take down Divide?
Yeah.
Absolutely can.
Kena clutch dong.
Digging deeper.
Tuh kan PEPEREKSS. Elah Lia.
Closes out with a Red Bull clutch here to keep Wolves alive.
I can't believe that. Look at this round. This from Spring. You know it's a mad play when even PEPEREKSS don't expect it. You know that's a mad one.
Don't interrupt.
3 bullets left for YU.
Lihat tuh bang, kelakuan. Lihat tuh, Alex marah-marah kan sama kayak gue anjing, gue juga marah-marah ini.
And I gotta say, frustration, rightfully so. They give up the pit, they play themselves out.
Tuh, pada beli OP, Odin.
Yes, it needs a miracle.
Elah bro.
But it's Wolves you're talking about here.
It's still only 8 rounds. We said we start paying attention at 10. They've broken the bye, but it's still PEPEREKSS. They can do it with classics. But something seems so unwilling to let go of this mid pressure. He wants it so badly. So Juicy's got to be careful. There is a world where he could get timed on this one. Those stingers, very, very deadly. We're going to go down. Camera here. Doesn't need to overstay his welcome. Could do with some support on CT though. They do have an open path straight across. Divide going to deny that. No one's going to be able to help out YU here. Does get to at least evade the siege, but they are right knocking at the door. PEPEREKSS have a way forward.
No damage.
Tapi kayaknya ada chance buat menang sih.
Now YU going to have his hands full.
Oh, outdone.
Soalnya Stinger enak banget buat main jarak dekat.
Maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Plans looking like it's coming in. You're looking at that late mid lurk as well coming out from Jing. Juicy tries to make something of it. Takes away Forsaken, but the number's still good. PEPEREKSS holds
menang sih ini harusnya ya.
Divide could be timed in this though. It's all going a little topsy-turvy. This is the round to do it.
Menang ini Obi. Menang, win Heaven. Lihat tuh win Heaven bro. Dapet itu menangnya. PEPEREKSS. Soalnya mereka udah dapat side-nya Bi. Udah dapat side-nya mah enak, apalagi Stinger tuh jarak deket lihat tuh. PEPEREKSS masuk final weh. PEPEREKSS. Good night, oke good night. Kita bobok nyenyak gak sih guys habis ini guys, bobok nyenyak.
Again, calling the uncrowned princes, calling what you want. PEPEREKSS have another shot at this now. It was never about just getting to a grand final though. It was always about that final step. The first to lock it in.
Tumben lu ya, 2 ronde ya. Biasanya 3 map anjing.
Standing up against is the big question, but a great performance here. 2-0 Mike. They've got to be happy with this one.
Absolutely. And for me, Patman and Divide being 2 key stakeholders here for PEPEREKSS.
For me was absolutely on the money.
Mic-nya kali kesentuh.
Under so much flack.
Yeah.
Because again, it typically doesn't slip into that same sort of ethos and the visual check, I guess. It's tough to really see his role within this roster and I guess the play style, but man, today, shining bright.
Yeah, I said making those big plays is his value alone in some of these maps. It's exceptional.
How do you look flashy alongside some of these teammates along the way? So, yeah, beautiful
stuff.
Really, really good stuff. And I just want to see how far this goes for them. As I said, as soon as it's ready, we will head down to that Verizon post-match interview. I'm sure we'll be jumping down there in a moment. Now it does seem as though we are ready. So let's hear from the players themselves. Down with you soon.
It's been 2 years in the making, but
beda itu wingman-nya bawa spike.
I
bawa mousepad tuh ya, bawa mousepad ya. Beda ternyata.
JJ, this is your 3rd grand final on the global stage.
Iya, keren
How does this
kan?
compare to LA
Farming
and
tanda
Copenhagen?
tangan.
I think now we have like more experience, so hopefully 3rd time's the charm. Hopefully.
And speaking of that experience, you know, your very good friend Forsaken and you've been through a lot. What's Jason like as a leader these days on stage?
I think he's doing a really great job as being a leader. He's like keeping the whole team hype and keeping all our energy good, and I think he makes everyone really excited as well and really hyped. So yeah, I think mood is really great now, and hopefully we carry on the momentum to grand finals.
Okay, I have one very important question. The crop top. We have been promised the crop top in Pacific. We haven't seen it. Now you're in a grand final. Are we bringing out the crop top finally?
Indeed. I mean, like I said in the press con, if we win grand finals and my team wears the crop top with me, I'll do it.
All right, okay, we need to get PEPEREKSS behind this crop top. I know one person that might be down for this, of course. I'm going to get told off if I don't get David here on your thoughts. First of all, Devi, your first ace on the global stage. Was that fun?
To be fair, I just want to win the round. So, but now I got an ace. I mean, thanks to you guys. And very happy.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to dedicate that ace to? You know, it's your first one. It's a special one.
I mean, I got to dedicate to my bro Pujan. I think he's here now, right?
I'm glad you mentioned him because I think, of course, you have a lot of fans. You know, they're all here very keen to get your pictures and signatures. But I do think you can probably flex a little bit about just your fan base because it's not just these guys out here. It's FNS. I saw Tens and Kaide wearing a PEPEREKSS jersey as well. So how grateful are you that all these people in the community want you to win?
Yeah, I mean, we are very thankful that we have so many fans across the world. And even yesterday, Tens and Kaide and Mel came to our place. So it's nice meeting them. Probably it's Tens buff, you know. So yeah, hopefully we do well in grand final and hopefully not second place again.
Oh, I hope so for you as well. Everyone in Toronto, as I let him sign a few more things one more time for your first grand finalist, PEPEREKSS.
Per second. Enggak. Gokil.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in.
Different.
Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Aku mau liatin bracketnya itu loh. Kayaknya dia PEPEREKSS sudah masuk grand final kan. Terus itu si tadi turun ke low bracket. Si Wolf. Masih.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
An update is required. Financial system
Enggak,
updated.
ini punya aku.
System updated.
We will dance to get.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Baru kemarin belum ada setahun. Oh. Satu aja satu. Oh lah habis ini gitu sama fansnya deh guys ya. Aku mau udahan dulu live-nya. Aku mau bobok. Bye. Soalnya Peperex sudah menang cuy. Ini kita bobok nyenyak sih, bobok nyenyak gitu kan. Server bang pindah be nanti lah. Capek aku loh nanti. Teman-teman aku mau bobok dulu. Aku mau bobok nyenyak. Saya Peperex sudah menang gitu. Besok kita nonton Peperex. Bye semuanya, thank you for today. Makasih sudah mengikuti watch party yang tidak seberapa ini. Bye ya, see you tomorrow. Tapi kayaknya besok aku live di TikTok kali ya. Aduh, cuman kayaknya kalau live di YouTube ini, aku pengen live TikTok sama YouTube. Cuman kalau aku live di TikTok itu tuh nggak bisa on cam di YouTube. Gitu, ngerti gak sih? Ini gara-gara nggak bisa di itu, ya tau lah YouTube aku. Bye, yaudah nanti besok lah, lihat besok.